Welcome back to We Are Tottenham TV, the only place to be on match day, and it is the pre-match pump-up show ready for Bayern Munich versus Tottenham today. And I'm joined by a very elite panel. We have Jimbo, as always, my brother-in-arms, shall I say, my other half. And we've got Dermot from THFC Till We Die making his debut on the channel. And we are due to have Deji as well, but he's caught up with train strikes and train cancellations and goodness knows what else, but hopefully he will be here at some point. Jimbo, first of all, how are you? How are you doing?
Yeah, good. Another trophy today. There's a trophy on offer, which is unbelievably funny, but I'll take it if we win.
There's a trophy?
Yeah, there's a trophy on offer. I saw them talking about it, right? So that could be 3 trophies in a matter of a couple of months, and when we beat PSG, there will be 4 trophies in a couple of months. And I said the quad is on, and the quad is on.
Do you know what? It's getting quite embarrassing if we keep winning all these trophies. They're going to be investigated.
Yeah,
Dermot, welcome.
We were the club that didn't win a trophy. Now we can't stop winning them.
Exactly. Dermot, welcome to the channel. How are you doing?
I thought I was deluded, but I think Jim's just taken my thunder completely. Yeah, I'm fine, Kate. Really looking forward to this. It's an absolute honour and a pleasure to be on this great Tottenham channel, and I'm looking forward to it, talking all things Spurs. And you know what? It's all about. Jim is right. It's all about winning trophies, but the one trophy I want to win is the trophy on next Wednesday. That Super Cup. I want to bring that back home. Today's just about beating Harry Kane, showing them what he's missing, showing them he should be with us, and then going to PSG and whipping them, and then starting the season in style. That's what I want.
I like it. I like the
trophy. Don't forget that, Dermot. Anytime there's a trophy on offer, we'll take it.
I do you know what, Jim? I said, if every time we win a trophy, I'm expecting you to get the bus out and start taking that down the high road. I can really see that happening.
And Deji's made it just in time. Big up, Deji. How are you doing?
Hey Jim, hey Dermot. I'm good. Sorry for my late arrival. London is just getting even more and more manic, so train delays even on a bloody Thursday afternoon. But I'm delighted to be here. I was panicking, so I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for the invite.
Excellent. You're welcome. I'm loving the neon light behind you, Deji. You said you'd have your name up in lights, and there they are.
There you go. Yeah.
It's very cool. Look, only one place to start today before we get on to obviously the game. Maddison, Jimbo, it's been confirmed today he's done his ACL, probably going to be out for, well, if not the whole season, 90% of the season. What's your thoughts and what do we do now?
Well, yeah, do you know what? It's gutting because I think that he would have really kicked on under Frank. But look, it's there. You know me, Kate. I'm not one to dwell on things and cry about them. It's there. It's done. There's nothing we can do, right? We wish him the best and quick recovery. And there's lots of things they can do now. Technology and surgery is unbelievable. So he'd be in the best hands. So we just got to find the number 10, you know, to take his place, which I'm sure they're working on.
Yeah, I mean, Dermot, I had Maddison down as being the most improved player this year. I thought we would get a completely different Maddison. How gutting is it that he's done his ACL in pre-season?
I'm so gutted for him, especially with the World Cup coming up at the end of the year as well. And I know he was so determined to get to that. Look, it's happened. I'm gutted, but now it's down to the club to come out now and get the number 10. It's down to them to go and put the best foot forward and spend some money. And look, he will be back. I think he will become a better player for this as well. And I think it'll give him time to rediscover himself, use this time to make himself a better player, a better person as well. And I think he used this, and I think he will use this as motivation to really improve himself when he comes back. And look, 7 months out, it's the season. So, you know, he's really's got to think about next season. What am I going to do? But we do have to go out and replace him. And it's down to the club now to back Frank in that department. Yeah.
And Deji, same question to you. What's your thoughts about poor old Madders?
Yeah, no, I'm gutted for Madders. Really, really gutted, just like as everyone else has said. The only thing I would say is that, you know, look, I think he's a quality player, but I think the injuries has been even before Spurs. I think he was a bit injury prone down at Leicester, and that's kind of carried on with him. So what I would like is for him to have a sustained period of time. You know, nowadays they're rushing players back. Don't be rushed back. Let him heal properly, and then he can come back stronger. I would just say from a Spurs fan perspective, maybe we are fortunate it's happening now and not second week in September. Because could you ever imagine if it happened second week of September, transfer windows closed, and we're left with Bergvall or perhaps up until Christmas? Do you know what I mean? It wouldn't have been a good look. So I agree. We have an opportunity now, a bit of grace to go and get a number 10. And I'm hearing that we don't want to get a winger, so let's get a statement 10 then. You know, and Eze, we need a statement, especially with Son leaving. Yeah.
Oh, I would love an Eze. It's very peculiar, the whole Eze thing. Everyone's saying he wants Arsenal and Arsenal need to sell to buy. But I'm pretty sure if Tottenham swooped in with a £70 million offer, I'm pretty sure we could get him away from Palace. But that remains to be seen with the club. Jimbo as well, we got to just quickly say about Sonny. You know, he released 2 really sad videos yesterday. Again, got me crying. He's signed now for LAFC. Seems very strange to see him in another team's shirt. Any thoughts on Sonny going?
Yeah, he's a legend, isn't he? I don't only think he's a club legend. I think he's a world legend. You know, someone said to me he's not world class. That's a load of bollocks. The man scored world class goals, right? He had a world class partnership with Kane. To me, that makes him world class. I won't have anything but good words for Sonny. Just love him. Gutted he's gone, but look, I've said it before. I think it was the right time because we don't want to see what happened with Hugo, where the fan base wanted him to leave so bad. You know, he's left on a high. He won us that trophy. So I wish him all the best.
Yeah. Dermot, what about you? I haven't obviously spoken to you since Sonny's gone. What's your thoughts?
Look, I'm like Jim, gutted he's gone. I'm really sad that he's gone. That interview last night did bring tears to my eyes, to be fair. It was very it made me cry again, and then it makes you think of what he did in Bilbao, and I was crying that night live on air. I mean, first time 48-year-old man, there's Sonny lifting the trophy, and I'm crying like a baby. Seriously, I would liken this. I don't know if Jim would agree, but I liken this when Glenn Hoddle left Tottenham when he went to Monaco. That's how greatly I high Sonny. Glenn Hoddle is an absolute god to me, and Sonny's next to him. And you know, I think Sonny's such an inspiration to everyone, to any young kids out there, how to be a professional, how to dedicate yourself to your sport, how to dedicate yourself to the profession you are. And you know, we're going to miss him. We really will miss him. As Desi says, I agree. We need to go out. If we're not going to get a winger, we need to go out a world class cam, somebody that's going to fill Sonny's shoes. Because we're going to really miss him next year, especially with his leadership off the field. He may not have been the Brian Robson or the Roy Keane type captain on the field, but behind the scenes, I'm sure his inspiration, the way he dedicates himself, the way he acts as well around the club, we're going to miss that. And I think we need somebody to come in to fill his shoes. All right.
Yeah. I mean, Desi, you were just saying we're not going to get another winger, so it looks like Tell's going to be the man. What's your thoughts on Sonny and what's your thoughts on Tell?
Yeah, first and foremost, I think Son will go down as one of Spurs' greatest ever players. And I think that Spurs fans, we should be lauding Son above Harry Kane. And hear me out for this. And I know it's a bit of a controversial statement. Every other player that you know that generally leaves the club, they either leave for their own interest or they've not been good enough. Not in Son's case. Son, in him leaving, he put the club before himself. Why do I say that? He was offered the opportunity to stay an extra year. He said, no, there's no way I'm leaving you guys next year without a single penny for me. So let me go now so you can get 20, 25 mil to go towards your next player. He is sobbing there, genuinely. I also think Son realised in himself, he wanted to stay, but he said, you know, I'm not the same Son of 3 or 4 years ago. So let me not stay here and, you know, be a burden. Even though he would never be seen as a burden, he cleared the path. For me, he put club before himself. And I say, you, Son, you are a legend above Kane. Get that statue made for him real quick, mural, whatever it is. We cannot not do something for Son. It's not good enough to give him this little gift in a little box. No, he needs something in Tottenham to be remembered for the rest of time. So yes, I think he's a legend and he's up there like the Glenn Hoddles, and like we expect to see him back and brilliant. But as for Telke, honestly, I really don't. I don't know. Tell me what you want me to say. To honestly, Tel is just not the. Do you know what? I'm hoping that under Frank, he can do his magic and he can turn him into a Wissa type player. Bloody hell, mate! I'd rather Odebear start over. Tell me what you want. Tell me what you need. Tell me something. I don't think Tell is the guy, and I'm actually surprised that Spurs have come out to say that they're quite happy with our left-hand side, because it means that we're not looking for top 4, you know. And one of the things Levy said in the summer was he wanted us to compete on all 4 fronts. I don't know how you compete on all 4 fronts when your left-hand side looks like you've got 1 leg. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, Tell was just, that's my, I'm trying to be nice. Yeah, I don't want to say anything too negative, so that's about it.
But have Tottenham come out and said that, or is it paper talk?
No, I think they've said that they're going to get a 10. They want to get a 10, and they want to get like a centre back or a left back. That's the business they want to do.
See, for me, if we're not
backs, haven't we?
Yeah, we have got
enough backs.
For me, if we're not going to go and get another winger, I think we need to get a striker, because Richarlison's not that guy, and I'm not sure Solanke is that guy, although I do think we'll see a different Solanke this season. I'll just chuck it out there. Anyone else think we need another striker, or are we happy with what we got?
No, we need another striker. We need to replace Richie. Richie, for me, Richie was always, I've always said it, Richie was a big fish in a small pond at Everton, where everything was built around him. He's come to a bigger club like Tottenham, and he's a small fish in the big pool, and he's just got lost. And with the injuries and everything, he hasn't been that backup. And we spent big money on a striker where we're not going to recruit that money when we sell him. So we're losing money again. Why can't we just go out and buy a decent number 9 and do it? Just get it over the line. You know, other clubs are ahead of us. Other clubs, Newcastle, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, all ahead of us. And we're still scrambling around like we're still in
United now. Man United's front line is so much better now.
Yeah.
I mean, we're scrambling around in Aldi where everybody else is buying in Harrods and Tesco's and Sainsbury's, and we're trying to find the cheap options, and it just doesn't work. So we're going to be struggling again where other clubs have improved and we haven't gone forward. And it looks like Man United won the Europa League and we finished runners-up.
Yeah. The thing is, we started off the summer quite well. You know, Kudus is a coup for me. And then, you know, and then in the next breath, we were about to get Morgan Gibbs White. And then here I am thinking, yes, finally, because I've been saying for years, why can't Tottenham get the best from the rest? You know, you don't need to go in and get, you know, someone from Real Madrid. You can go and get a Morgan Gibbs, you can go and get a Kudus, and then you go and get a Wissa, and all of a sudden you've got a half decent team. But it looks like we just got the wind taken from underneath our feet after the whole Morgan Gibbs White debacle. I agree. And sometimes I wonder if Spurs, like, financially we're stable, but common sense business, we just don't do it. Why didn't we go in for a Delap? Chelsea don't need it. We could have got Delap for that price. He would have done a great job. Why can't we go in and get, you know, someone from that geezer that played for Real Betis on the left hand side that tore that Gusto a new one in the final? He's decent enough. Go out and get him. He could do a job on the left. And all of a sudden, our midfield, our team looks deep. And then you add an Eze to that, job done. And that's a job done for roughly about 130 mils. It's not it's a lot of money, but it's not crazy money in this day and age. And I just don't get it. Yeah.
I mean, someone's saying Vlahovic, but I heard yesterday he's on 400 and something £1,000 a week, so that's never going to happen.
Crazy money.
I think I said it on the last pump up. I think Vissa would be a great signing for us because he could play left wing, right wing. He can play in the middle, but it's whether Brentford play hardball and refuse to let him go. I don't know what the situation lies with there, but. Nikos says, Jim, I've just stuck a score on Spurs to beat Bayern today at 8-1. Odds dropped shortly after back to 6-1. Worth the pump for sure. Yeah, look, we've got a betting expert in the house. Obviously now we've got Maddison out, Jimbo, Kulu obviously out. Do you expect to see a Bergvall take the number 10 today or a Sarr? What are you thinking?
Well, look, let's be honest, right? I don't think we need a left back. I like Spence at left back. I just love him. I think he plays better at left back than right back. I think we need a right back. We need a 10. We need a left-sided to take Sonny's place, and we need a striker. Right. So what's that? 1, 2. That's minimum, okay? Because you've got to think we are going to get more injuries, right? So so that's 4. Is that 4? 1, 2. Yeah, 4. So look, I've still got quite high hopes in this window. I know everybody's a bit doom and gloom with it, but I saw on Sky Sports this morning they're talking about Garnacho. He's open to moving somewhere else besides Chelsea, and that Tottenham had spoke to his camp. Well, I'd love to get Garnacho. I think with the right person managing him, I think he could be a bit special. Yeah. But we just got we need players. There's no two ways about it, right? We just got to have a bit of faith in the boards. You know, that they're doing things quietly, which they have done over the last few years. You know, they talk about it. And when people saying, if someone said to me the other day, yeah, but about Paulinho, they was all talking about him. No, it was the YouTube was talking about him. It wasn't Spurs talking about him. And all of a sudden he was there and done. And I think that's what might be happening with Tottenham. So I think over the next week or so, we might see a few come in. I've got very high hopes. I'm not sitting here panicking yet.
But we do need a statement signing, though.
Yeah,
I think that's so important. You know, for Son to leave, that he's left us vacant. I think to get the crowd. You said it sounds a little bit negative today. It feels a bit negative because we haven't filled the positions that we need to fill, and then we've lost Son. Do you know what I mean? So for them to get the good feeling, the goodwill back into the fans. We need that statement to say, all right, yeah, we mean business. And for me, that's an Eze type and Adam Walton to say, all right, yeah, we want to do it. Oh, yeah,
that'd be a statement.
Yeah, it would. It certainly would. The Bayern team are already out. And of course, they have got someone in their front line we might have heard of. They've got Neuer in goal, Upper Meccano. Already, just remember, I can't say names. So if I get these wrong, I apologise. Then we've got Tar, nice easy one. Kimmich, Goretzka, Harry Kane, Coman, Luis Diaz. Wow, Luis Diaz starting. Oloy, I can't even say his name. Elise, Lema, and Stanisic. So look, a very Dermot, a very strong team. Bayern are putting out. They're not treating this too friendly, I would say.
No, they're not. It's a very strong lineup. I'm looking forward to see what Diaz can do out there. I'm very surprised he left Liverpool to go there, to be honest. You look at Elise as well. He's dangerous down the ring. Harry Kane just speaks for himself. Guarantee he's going to score today. But yeah, this is a very strong team. Do you know what? I think if we get at them defensive wise, I think Bayern have always been a little bit weak, more defensive wise than they have been more defensive midfield and attack. And I feel if it's Odegaard and Kudus on the wings, I reckon they can hurt them. I reckon Kudus can really hurt them on the wings. It's just about attacking them down the wings and really get the crosses in early. But yeah, Harry Kane, he was scored today, and Diaz as well. Him and Elise, I think they're the three danger people for me.
Yeah. What's your thoughts, did you?
Yeah, this is what we live for. You know, we've talked, we've bantered, but you know, I just love to see our club playing against the best teams in world football. And the fact that Bayern Munich have shown us the utmost respect. Bloody hell, look at that. Look at that lineup. There is no weakness in that starting 11.
No.
I'm like, bloody hell, game on. Let's see what our boys can do. The only thing I would say is I'm hoping, Dermot, that Odegaard could surprise us and be that person. And maybe Kapsar or Bergvall could fill in that number 10 void that we have. If so, by all means, crack on and let's enjoy it. But you know, deep down in my heart, I just felt like if we had a named like a Rodrigo and an Eze for this game, I would have really been, looking forward and licking my lips. But hey, let's go for it. This is what it's all about. PSG next week. We live for these days. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, Jimbo, to be fair to Papa Mate Sarr, he's stepped up so far this pre-season.
Yeah. Yeah, but we always knew there was a player in there, Kate. We always spoke about him. And look, I think he's a little bit lightweight, but look, he's a fantastic player. You know, he gives you his all. Every blade of grass is covered. You know, and it's a lot. It's the same with a lot of these youngsters. You know, I don't know if Dermot and Deji agree with me. It's the same with a lot of these youngsters. They need the right manager, right? Yeah. Bring them on.
They do.
And Ange wasn't the right manager for these youngsters. You know, look at Spence. Spence played out of his skin when your doggy was out. As soon as your doggy came back, he took him out of the team. I mean, that must be so disheartening for a young footballer. And it's not like he did anything wrong. He was absolutely our best player on the pitch, game after game after game. So I think Frank is the right manager. And I'm not worried about Tel Deji. I think Frank will bring this guy on leaps and bounds. I honestly believe this kid's got talent. And let's hope today he shows it and shows Bayern what they're missing.
You know what, Jim, I fully agree with you. And I think that's the thing where I think as Spurs fans, and I'm talking to myself here, we just got to exercise a little bit of patience. I actually said about a month ago, if Frank can do what he did at Brentford, we could be a really scary team. What do I mean? Yeah. He's got, let's be honest, he had bang average players playing out of their skin and he turned them into world beaters. Wissa, Ivan Toney, and Bremo. Could you imagine, for argument's sake, if Basuma went back to his top class form, if Bentancur goes back to being top class, if you get Tel doing what he done at Bayern Munich, if you get Papsar playing at full ability, and then our back line playing at their very best, all of a sudden, it's a brand new team because I don't think we've had anyone. None of those players have really played at their full capacity. None of them, including Romero. And imagine if they all did.
Yeah.
I look at it. Sorry, Kate. I looked at it. We were coached. You look at the Arsenal game. We were coached. And when you look at also that, I looked at it tactically. Little triangles, what he does in Brentford. And we were pulling Arsenal players out into positions they didn't want to get into. That left space behind for our attacking players to get into. So you can see already the way he's coaching our defence, the way Papa, Sarr's been outstanding in pre-season. Really has. Yeah. Really, he's shined. A lot of players are warming to Frank already. A lot of players are saying, right, I can get behind this. You look at Romero, you look at Jed Spence, you look at Van der Ven and Porro. Absolutely exceptional this pre-season. And I think with Romero and the captaincy as well, I think you might see that might calm him down a little bit and let him play his natural game without the Argentinian rush of blood that we all know him for.
Yeah.
But you're right, Desi.
Yeah.
You get Odegaard swinging, you get Tell swinging, you get Kudos swinging. We could be a very dangerous team to play against this year.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Jimbo?
Look, the thing in sports, right? Especially team sports, you need to have a job. You need to feel wanted, right? You need to feel there's something that my gaffer wants me to do, and I'm going to do it for him. I'll run through walls for him, and I think Frank will do that with the players. They all have their job. It'll be organised, right? They're going to know what they need to do. He talks to them on the sideline. You know, you can see him always checking his paperwork, his iPad. You know, in case he needs to tell the player to do something a bit different. And players like that, Kate, they're players. They're not coaches. You know, they need to be organised and show them what their job is. And I think Frank could do that.
Yeah.
So I think these young players are going to come on leaps and bounds. I really do.
Yeah, I hope so. And it was nice to see in the Arsenal game, for me, what I call common sense football. I don't know about you, but I just can't stand the inverted nonsense. It was driving me absolute mad. I like the overlapping run. And all of a sudden, overnight, a month in, and we look defensively sound. No, we had good defenders. Yeah, we could have been defensively sound before. We just didn't play in a defensively sound way, if you know what I mean. So yeah, look, I hope. I guess for me this season, having been through a lot the last 2 seasons, I hope, like we do for every manager, that Frank can get it right. Because if he does, mate, we could have a really good season ahead of us.
Yeah, and talking of Frank, the Tottenham lineup is out. If I can just get it on the screen, here we go. So we've got Vicario, Pedro Porro, Romero again as captain, Van der Ven and Spence, Bentancur, Palhinha, yes, Sarr, Johnson, Richarlison and Kudus also. And then on the bench, we've got Kinski, Austin, Davis, Danso, Vuskovic, Gray, Basuma, Bergvall, Odegaard and Tell. So from that, Jimbo, I'm looking at Sarr playing the number 10. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, it looks like it, Kate. Looks like, look, let's be honest, right? Look at that team there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And look at the teams from last season. Just having Paulinia and Kudus in there, what difference that makes, having them two in there, right?
Yeah.
Look, I think Tottenham have got a really exciting season coming up. I do. I'm so looking forward to this season. And I've seen people on YouTube saying, oh, we don't buy no one else. We'll finish 8th, 9th, 10th. No, that ain't going to happen. We're going to be higher than that.
For me, that's going to be our strongest lineup this season. I would just swap Richarlison for obviously Solanke, and I just want to know where the hell is Solanke at the moment. The one thing I would say though, and I've been on the controversial side about Richarlison. I liked Richarlison when he was at Watford and Everton, because actually I felt that he's not. I don't see him as a 9. I see him as a kind of left-sided striker. So it'd be interesting to see. Well, he's going to have to play the 9 today. But I do think there's a potential for Richarlison when Solanke is back to maybe occupy that left-hand side. But what it does look like is Kudus on the left, Brennan Johnson on the right, and Richarlison up top. That's what I think is going to happen today.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he comes in for a lot of stick, Johnson, Dermot, but he does know where the back of the net is.
Look, I'm probably one of his biggest fans. I love Johnson, and I think he gets a lot of stick unnecessarily. It's a knack to be in that position at the time, putting the ball in the back of the net. You look at all the great strikers during the years that stood around that 6-yard area, didn't do an awful lot. They were there to put the ball in the back of the net, and I think Johnson is probably that man. Probably Johnson's best position is an inside forward for me. He's not a winger, but I think he can play in the 2 up front and play in that role where you just stay up front, you stay in the numbers, you stay in the 6-yard box, and you get on the end of them balls. Look, for me, I think it's a great lineup. I like Paulinia. I'm absolutely over the moon we got him. Him and Bentancur in that holding midfield role. Brilliant. That's really, solved that problem. Back 4, I think that's the back 4 that starts the season. I think Spence is ahead of your doggy now. The only thing we need is a striker. I'm sorry, Solanke and Richarlison are not good enough. Solanke's good for your sort of deep line work, dropping back, making the chances. But you need that striker up front that's going to put the balls in the back of the net. We were offered Vatovic early in the window, and Tottenham turned him down. I mean, because of the wages. I mean, that's ridiculous. We do need to go out. But look, I like the bench. I think the bench is good as well. I think, Bergville, I think he's been outstanding as well. Bergville for me. Luca, I think he needs to be kept around. And Kingsley as well. He needs to be kept around. All this loan for him, I think, is rubbish as well. He needs to be kept within the squad. But for me, I'm really excited about this today. I'm looking forward to Paolini and how he plays today. So come on, I can't wait.
And I don't mean this as a negative. If that was the starting lineup under Ange, I think someone made the point the other day. We're guaranteed to score goals, but with the way that Frank plays, is a bit more pragmatic. The one thing I would say is we look defensively strong as a unit, just looking at us on paper, but we do look short of goals. Like I don't see goals in this starting lineup at all, and I don't see goals coming off the bench.
No, not really. I mean, like I say, on the bench you've got Tell, Odegaard, Bergvall. That's about it for any sort of creativity at all. So, and look, it's been played off. Solanke's had a bit of a knock, but this is another game where he's not included in the squad, Jimbo. No. It don't look good, does it?
No, Kate, no, he's not injured bad, believe me. Frank was talking about him the other day, and he said that it's possible he'll be ready for this game. But I think after what happened to Maddison, he's not going to take a chance. He's going to leave it a bit longer. But he said that there's a good chance he's ready for this game. I think that's putting him out there. So he'll be back. He'll be back for the beginning of the season.
Yeah. Deji, just coming to you about what Dermot said with Vuskovic. He's one of 5 or 6 players that have been told to find a team and go out on loan. I personally think they need to go out on loan because they're not going to get enough game time. But I mean, what's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I have my biggest bugbear with Spurs is our academy setup and our ability to identify talent. We don't need to be in the training ground to know that Vuskovic is a talent. You can just see that. I think he's ready. It's not about age, this thing. It's about, are they ready? He was scoring goals as a defender out in Belgium last season. He came back, scored a goal against Reading. And I think people were even arguing that he could even play in that little double pivot. I thought that's why when we brought in that Kota Take, I didn't quite understand, because I thought, well, Vuskovic is there. He could probably do that job. He could do it well. I feel like it's poor. I wouldn't want to see him out on loan. I would want him to be in the squad to get some minutes. If you can give Archie Gray minutes, and dare I say, can I just say this? I think in defence, who would you rather have, Archie Gray or Vuskovic? Do you know what I'm saying? You'd rather have Vuskovic. So he should be in the squad. I don't want him out on loan at all. But talent ID, our ability to identify what we need now, what we need for the future, it's a problem, and it's still a problem if we're going to put that way out.
Kate, I said exactly the same thing to you the other day, didn't I?
You did,
Right, and the thing is, why are they going to go out and buy another centre back? Why, when we've got him?
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense to me. He's shown that he can play. It's just for me, it's a waste of money. Just keep him in the squad and let him work with Romero, Van der Ven, and the manager, and bring him along. For me, it's ludicrous to send him out on loan and then buy another defender.
Can I make a controversial statement?
Go on, Deji.
Out of all of our youngsters, Mikey Moore, Bergvall, Archie Gray, I think Vuskovic is probably the most ready.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong there.
And that's the bit that drives me mad. I'm looking at the other clubs. I'm looking at Ethan Nwaneri at Arsenal. He starts now. He plays now. Vuskovic out of them 4 is ready now. He could start for Spurs, and I would be comfortable. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying I'm uncomfortable with Bergvall, but I just think there's a special edge to this lad where I think he could break into our starting 11, unlike the others who are still plying their trade and working their way through. And that's what's mad about that whole scenario.
Yeah. What you see with Vuskovic is you could see like a Harry Maguire role as well, whereas when there's a set piece, he goes down, he's a tall guy, get on the end of the corners or the free kicks. I see good things for him. I just worry he's not going to get the game time at Spurs, because we've seen it so often that we keep these kids around and they don't really get game time. And we've got to manage his minutes carefully, this kid, because I think he's got the potential to be a really good player. Talking of lack of goals, there's 460 watching and only 75 likes, which is atrocious. It's proper Richarlison sort of ratio, that is. So please do smash the like button. Jim, are we going to see the pigeon dance today, do you reckon? The prue-pruing?
Well, I hope so. I mean, if Sar's going to do the pigeon dance, then we'll probably see it. But I'm not sure. I've stuck behind Richarlison. You know that, Kate. I've took some stick on our stream for backing him, but he's not a terrible player, is he? I mean, he really puts himself about, and we know he can score goals. He's just been unlucky with injuries. I think if he hadn't got injured so much and had a good run in the team, we might have got a different player. But it's the injuries. We can't, we get enough injuries, and he's very injury prone. Look, I hope he scores. And if he does, I'll do the pigeon dance around the front row.
Oh, my God. The thing is, Dermot, we say the best ability is availability. Yeah. And we got Solanke and we was like, well, he never gets injured. And yet he's been plagued by injury since he's come to us. What is going on with Tottenham? Why can't we ever keep anyone fit?
I swear there's a curse in our club when players come, right, they don't get injured and then suddenly they're all out injured. I just don't know, Kate. I don't know if it's the training. We're all blaming Ange last year for training, weren't we, with all the injuries? And then suddenly we've got 4 or 5 players out with knee injuries now. So is it something that we're doing in training? Is it something that we're doing within the club with the warm-ups, whatever? Something is happening, and it's just such a curse. And it really proves how light our squad is, though. We get a couple of more injuries, then we're back to where we were last season. 100%. And this is where I think our recruitment team should be a lot more better in getting players in to beef out the squad. Even use the youngsters. Don't send out a Mikey Moore. Don't send out a Luca. Don't send out these players that we know they can play in the first team. We know they've played. Mikey Moore can play in the Premier League. He played in Europe. So we know he's got the experience of playing in them. So use these kids. Back in the 80s, Jim, you and Jim and me will remember the youngsters that came through. Andy Dick back in the early 80s, Nick Barmby, all these youngsters that came through our academy that went on to be first team players. We're not doing that anymore. We're just sending them out and loan after loan after loan after loan. You're not learning anything. You need to be in the first team playing first team football in the Premier League to learn what it means to be a Premier League footballer. Totally different playing in the Championship, totally different playing in League One and League Two.
So I think part of the injury problem is that we were rushing players back. I think I agree with that. I think we had a thin squad. But sometimes you just need to know, you need to just look at our history, know your surroundings, and then mitigate against it. One of my biggest bugbears with Ange was we saw that the season before that Van de Ven got injured, and yet we didn't get cover last season just in case it happened again. And it feels like the whole thing's happening all over again. We do need to just beef up our squad. I think players these days are playing just too many bloody games. And then the recovery time just isn't there. If you think about it, I think Solanke got rushed back anyway. Maddison got rushed back, for the Europa League final. Like, they didn't have the proper time to heal. And let's be honest, a month for certain injuries might not just be enough time before you're flying off to Hong Kong. All of that plays a part in recovery. Flying and sitting there, and your bones are, you're still knackered. You know what I mean? From all that flying about. So I think the players just need time to settle, but we do need to just beef up our squad, 3 or 4 extra players. And I agree. I think we should have kept the boys that we're sending out on loan, because if this is going to be happening, they might as well get in and play and get their minutes up.
Yeah.
I mean, we were saying last season, Kate, about Kulu. After past halfway through the season, you and me kept saying this is the game he's going to get injured. They're going to be out for the rest of the season. We kept saying it, and it happened because he was getting overplayed. Played him all the time. Didn't seem to get a rest. And we had a lot of games last season. We got to the semi-final of the Carabao Cup. We got a decent way in the FA Cup, the Europa, and the league. And it was too much for him. And he ends up out for months.
Yeah. I mean, Dave came in, Dave Irish Hotspur, big up to you, come in with fire with 2 big questions. He said, first of all, why the hell are we playing Johnson when he does nothing? And second of all, what was the other thing he said? Who are we going to blame for injuries now? Ange isn't there anymore. I mean, Johnson's hard to leave out when he does seem to know where the back of the net is. He does get himself in those positions where, you know, people call him a tapping merchant. Well, from what I remember, you only get one goal, it's only classed as one, whether you score a worldie or a tap-in, it doesn't matter. And he's been a bit of a clutch player for us. As far
That's
as
what
the injuries,
Lineker was, Kate. That's
yeah,
all Lineker
exactly.
done. Just put the ball in the net.
He does frustrate me, Johnson, because sometimes he comes on and you do feel like you're playing with 10 men, because I don't think he does enough, but I'm hoping Frank might improve him. But the whole injury question, I think that's something that Tottenham as a club need to look into, because there's something definitely wrong there when we're getting players coming in, such as Solanke, who never gets injured, and he literally now is injured constantly. There's something going wrong. Is it the training? Is it the medical department? Is it pre-season, like when they sign? Is it something to do with the checks? I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it's something that as a club we need to sort out, I think.
I think they've changed a lot of the medical staff, didn't they?
I don't know. You said that to me. I'm not sure if
Yeah,
they have or not.
I think they have. I think because he bought he bought, because he was talking about them. I think he bought some medical staff in, some new ones.
Yeah. Someone's put, I'm glad Richie's getting all this pre-season game time so that Frank can see he's not good enough. Richarlison's like Hoyland. Oh, don't say that. He's better than Hoyland. And Irish Hotspur Dave says it's all Ange Postecoglou's fault.
I blame Lang. I'm blaming him. It's Lang's fault. I said it the other day on my channel. Look at the Paratici windows we had on the Paraticis, and you look at the players we brought in. You look at the last two. Well, this is his third transfer window, Lang. You look at the players who he's brought in. It's nowhere near good enough. And I think the problem at Spurs is not it's not Ange's fault we're getting injuries. I don't think it's anyone's fault. I just think it's Tottenham as a whole needs to change something. I agree with you, Kate, internally. Yeah. But again, we haven't got the squad to cover for these injuries. You look at you look at the top six, they've all got big squads for a reason. If you're in 4 competitions, you're going to need big squads to rest players, to change players, to give them a bit of a rest, to start, giving other players a chance. And we don't do that. And then when we get injuries, then you look what happened last season. Then we just think, do we go for the league or do we go for the Europa League? Okay, let's go for the Europa League, and we'll stuff the league. The league should come first. That's where your bread and butter is. That's where you earn your prize money. The higher you finish in the league, the more money you get. Yeah, it's great to win a cup. I get that. But I really got miffed when we just said, I'll sod the league. Because that's your bread and butter. That's where you earn your money.
You got to put things into perspective here, right? We got to a certain point in the league. We was never going to get relegated, right? We was too far in front, right? And it didn't matter if we pushed up another 4 or 6 places, right? And Ange, love him or hate him, any fan, right? You can't take nothing away from the man. He's changed this club in a lot of ways by winning that trophy. He's took a lot of money off of our back, right? So I got nothing but respect for him. It was the right decision to change him. Even though I was one of the ones that said, give him another year. I'm glad we have it now and that we've got Frank, because I think it'd be better for the club all round. But he took a lot of monkeys off of our back, Ange Postecoglou, and they go down in the history books, as the man that won the 3rd European trophy for this club.
Only 2 others won it before him, Bill Nick and Keith Birkinshaw. He's in a very exclusive club. Yeah, I get that, Jim. I do understand that. I get all that, but I think the recruitment has to be so much better. We have to do so much better, and we've got 23 days left in the window. We really have to push the boat out now. And it is, I do agree with you. It is about getting behind supporting the teams and supporting the players, which we all do. Every weekend we all do. But we want to see better. We want to see better players.
Yeah, we will do now. Under Frank, I think we will. I think the recruitment so far with Paulinho and Kudos has been good, and I think we see more good players coming. We just got to be a little bit patient. There's still a few weeks of the window. Everybody's having a meltdown. There's no need for a meltdown yet.
If we can bring in,
Oh, go on, carry on.
No, I was just going to say, look, I agree. Paulinho and Kudos, great signings, and that's the sort of level that I'm looking at moving forward. If we're bringing in that kind of level of player, we will be fine. We will be guaranteed top 6. I see our club as a really big club. I expect us to be challenging for Champions League football, or at least competing. What I don't expect is to be languishing around 12th or 13th in the league. I don't accept that at all. So we need to be bringing in those type of players and let us do it. And those players are out there. Go and get them. Cheap or not cheap. Ademola Lookman's looking for a new home. Come on, let's bring that in. You know what I mean, there's players we can easily get. We do that. Sometimes with football, it's not rocket science. Yeah, some of it is a bit of coaching, but some of it is just talent ID. Bring in the right talent and you'll crack on. Do you know what I mean? Look at Elise. He was at Crystal Palace. We all knew he was a top player. Now he's went to Bayern Munich, nominated for Ballon d'Or. This is not difficult. There's good players out there. Get them.
Yeah. I was just going to ask you, Desi, what happens if Kane scores? Do you think he gets a really good reception from the Tottenham fans? What's your thoughts?
Do you know what? I actually think we've moved on, to be fair. I think we do. I mean, one thing I can say about Kane, he has done us proud since going to Bayern Munich. Mate, the guy has looked absolutely classy. And actually, I feel for it because in that Bayern Munich team, if you watch them carefully, they don't even look for Kane. Kane's he's feeding on scraps and he's still scoring goals. I don't think we're bothered. I think as a fan base, we're happy for Kane. We love to see him, but he should know that it's not going to be an easy game. Romero will be taking him out if he hesitates, and that's
yeah, I agree. It's that time of the...
He's got too much for us to celebrate if he scores.
Yeah, 100%. It's that time of the show with 10 minutes to go, and that rhymes. Well, I need to know who is going to score and what's the score going to be. I'm going to go out there first, and I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. And I'm going to go for Johnson again, Ole, to score. And I'm also going to go for Papa Mate Sarr to score as well, because I think he's on fire at the moment. So they're going to be my 2 goal scorers, and probably Kane to get the 2 for Bayern Munich. Internet guy says 4-0 Sonny hat-trick. Now, wouldn't that be something? He's got one hell of a kick if he can get it from LA into Germany.
Yeah, exactly. Sonny hat-trick. That's a good one.
Please do put your scores. We've got 2-2 Kudus and Richie to score, 2-1 as well. Dermot, what do you fancy the score to be, and who's going to score for Spurs?
I'm going for 2-0 Tottenham, and I'm going for Kudus and Johnson.
Johnson again, Ole?
Yeah, I do. I think we've kept, 4 clean sheets this pre-season already?
Yeah.
I just think we can keep if we can keep a clean sheet against Arsenal, we can keep a clean sheet today. Going for a 2-0 win. Kudus and Johnson, come on.
I like that, Dermot. I do love a clean sheet. Deji, what's your thoughts on today's match?
Yeah, look, I'm looking at the starting lineups and the squads. I think there's a golf in class. Look, I'm going 3-1 Bayern Munich. However, though, this is the perfect tonic for the prep that we did against PSG. I watched PSG against Bayern Munich in the Club World Cup. I thought it was an absolutely cracking game. And I think this game will give Frank the right things that he needs to tweak for us to get the result against PSG, which is what I would prefer. I could give a damn about Bayern Munich, provided we bring that second trophy home next week. So I am going 3-1 Bayern, but this is all about learning. And yeah, I'll be pleasantly surprised if we get a better result than that.
Deji didn't get the memo. This is a pump up. It's normally my job to pump people down. I'm normally the negative one. But look, it's not, let's be fair. With their team, it's not out of the question for a 3-1 Bayern win, let's be fair. But Jimbo, with your deluded mind, what do you fancy for the game today?
Well, I'm going to go the same as Deji, but the reverse, 3-1 to Tottenham. Mighty Spurs, we will kick their ass 3-1. We're going to show people today that we're not going to be a pushover.
That'd be amazing.
So who's scoring, Jimbo, in those 3 goals?
100%. He's on a rock and roll. I'm going to have Sarr to score. Johnson, I get a little tap in, and maybe Kudus might get on the score sheet today. He's due, isn't he? And what a time to do it, to show him I'm here.
But look, I agree with Deji. At the end of the day, today doesn't really matter, but there is a golfing class between Bayern and us, and it'll be fantastic preparation for the PSG game, which obviously we will be pre-match pumping up for, which is going to be an interesting game. I'm absolutely terrified, but secretly excited about that game. I know you'll be super confident, Jim, and probably thinking we're going to win 4-0 or something ridiculous. But this is a good prep for it. But we shall see. Look, let's just hope that we put in a good display today and don't get any injuries. What was you going to say, Jim?
So what are people going to say once we beat Bayern and then we beat PSG? Are people going to take it serious?
Mate, we beat Bayern and beat PSG. You're going to have me shaking my bum violently. I'm not going to lie to you. Shaking my bum violently, mate.
Is there going to be domination in the location, did you?
Mate, there will be domination in the location with motivation and concentration. All the sins going on.
Absolutely love it. Brilliant debuts today from Dermot and Deji. Make sure you go and subscribe to them both. Dermot, what's going on over at THFC till we die?
Yeah, we've got lots of stuff coming up tomorrow night. I've got my tribute to Sonny. I'm just going to have my thought. I'll do a whole show and then, but yeah, I've got my Before the Whistle, got my pump up starting in a few minutes and my watch along. And then at 8 o'clock tonight, got instant match review. So yeah, got lots of things coming up on THFC till I die. But thank you again, Kate, for having me on, and Jim. I've really enjoyed it. It's a lifetime ambition to get on this channel. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the season ahead.
In a non-perverted way, Jim will fix it. So yeah, Dermot, thank you for coming on.
Jim.
He did it. It was an absolute pleasure to have you on. And Deji, always good to stream with you. What's happening over at Deji Spurs?
Yeah, I'll probably do. I'm going to watch the game in peace today. I need to just watch and dissect, because sometimes when you're doing watch-alongs, you're missing a lot as you're responding to the chat. So I'm going to watch the game, do a quick match reaction after that. And then hopefully on Fridays, I like to do something called Step to the Mic, where I get to speak to people and hear their thoughts. So doing that and trying to stream more consistently this season, fingers crossed. And doing more stuff on here. So, Kate, thanks for the invite. And Jim, thank you so much. Dermot, a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure as well, Deji. Yeah. Great to meet you, man.
Yeah, no,
I've got to say, Deji, your room is incredibly tidy.
No, this is a backdrop. This is not even my room.
It's not your room.
Yeah.
I was going to say, it's immaculate. Yes.
You didn't ask the people in the chat their scores.
Yeah, I did, and I read some out.
Oh, I never saw it.
Nice to see you're paying attention, Jimbo. Oi, Savaloy, we've got Danny Kiriakou in the house. Oh, we've got another score coming. Denise is saying 4-0 Bayern. Oh. Someone said 3-0 Harry Kane to score the perfect hat-trick.
I saw that one. I saw 3-3 Kane and to score a hat-trick, and was it Sarr or Johnson? One of them. I saw that one.
So make sure everyone goes over. The links are in the description, but there's Dermot's channel, there's Deji's channel, and if you do want to subscribe to Jimbo and I, we are on most days of the week at 12:30 just for... Well, we have a chat, really, don't we? Really, that's about it. We chat about the footy and whatever else. Sometimes, like yesterday, we might have a domestic live on screen. You never know what's going to happen. Jim always loses, though. You know that's a definite. Yeah, we've got a 3-3 there. Kane hat trick. 2-1 Spurs. 0-0. Oh, I can't see it being 0-0. Danny Kiriakou saying Deji never change. I had to get him to say domination in the location. That was an absolute guarantee. 6-0 Bayern, 7-2 Vicario with all 7. 3-0, 2-1 Spurs. Yep, sub to Deji, good man. Own goal, hat-trick Kane. Yes, that'll do. 3-0 Spurs, Kudos, Sarr and Romero. And 2-1 Spurs, Richarlison and Johnson, and Kane scores for Bayern. Go on, Deji.
Can I just ask a question before you leave? In the event that Spurs did the unthinkable, which is to win today and to win next week, what are you saying? Because for me, that means that, you know, in terms of the season going in, I don't want to jinx anything, but I would like to know what would your expectations be? Because those are two big teams. You know, Bayern Munich and PSG are arguably two of the biggest teams in the world at the moment. What are you saying?
Me personally, I'm expecting top 7. That's what I'll be. I want a European spot this year, and I think that's perfectly reasonable to expect that. I mean, what about you, Jimbo?
Well, Deji, I don't want to burst your bubble, mate, but we will beat Bayern today, and we will beat PSG in the Super Cup, right? So you can start thinking on them lines already. And minimum top 6 this season. I think everybody is going to be absolutely gobsmacked the way we come out this season under Frank.
I hope so.
And Dermot?
I'm with Jim. Jim knows I'm his delusional brother. He knows I'm with him all the way in this. So I agree everything what Jim said, but we're going to finish 5th. That's why I'm going one higher than you, Jim.
Right. Okay. Well, there we go. Deji, what about you? Do you think we get top 6, top 4, top 7? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, we beat Bayern today. We beat PSG next week. I have to be shameless, and I'll be going for top 4.
Excellent. Well, let's hope we beat Bayern and PSG, and then we can all be deluded. But look, thank you to everyone who's watched. We've had lots of people in. Make sure you smash a like on the way out. Make sure you subscribe to Deji, to Dermot, and to me and Jimbo. Stay here because you will be redirected to the watch along with, I don't know if it's Ben and Sim. Ben and Sim, I think it is tonight. So Sim is back in the country. So make sure you stay where you are. Enjoy the match. And as always, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Thank you both. Brilliant.